Late at night, armed raiders quietly surround a lonely ranch hidden under the cold moonlight. Their boots press into the dirt as they prepare to kill everyone inside without mercy. The ranch looks weak, silent, and defenseless, making it the perfect target. Fingers tighten on triggers, hearts beat fast, and the air feels heavy with danger. Suddenly, one raider stops walking. His face turns pale, and fear fills his eyes. He slowly raises his hand, signaling the others to stop. His gaze is fixed on a white buffalo hide hanging on the fence, gently moving in the night wind. A deep silence falls over the group. The leader steps closer, recognizing the sacred symbol that no man dares to disrespect. Memories of ancient warnings and deadly curses rush through their minds. The ranch no longer feels empty. Fear replaces anger. In a trembling voice, the raider whispers, "We should not be here," knowing that crossing this land could cost them their lives. The ranch belongs to a poor and quiet rancher who lives completely alone, far away from towns and roads. His days are simple and hard, filled with long work, dusty fields, and silent nights. He owns very little, but he never turns anyone away. When tired travelers pass by, he offers water, food, and a safe place to rest without asking for anything in return. Many people think he is foolish for being so kind in a cruel world, but kindness is all he has. His ranch is small, old, and worn down by time, yet it feels strangely peaceful. At night, the wind moves gently through the fences, as if protecting the land. The rancher never speaks about his past and never explains why he chose this lonely life. What no one knows is that beneath this quiet land lies a sacred secret, powerful enough to change fate itself. Shadows move closer as the brutal raiders silently enter the ranch land, their faces hard and eyes filled with hunger for violence and loot, believing this lonely place will fall without resistance. Wooden fences are pushed aside, dry boards crack under rough hands, and weapons slide out slowly, ready to spill blood. The night seems to hold its breath as boots scrape the ground and torches flicker in the darkness. Inside the small house, the rancher senses danger before he hears it, a heavy feeling pressing against his chest. He opens the door and steps outside, standing tall despite knowing he cannot fight trained men with weapons. His hands remain calm at his sides, his face steady, not showing fear, not begging for mercy. The raiders spread out, surrounding him like wolves circling wounded prey, whispering threats and cruel laughter. One man raises his weapon, ready to strike, while another kicks dirt toward the rancher's feet to provoke him. The rancher does not move. He does not run. He does not reach for a weapon that does not exist. Instead, he looks at them with quiet eyes, the same eyes that once watched storms alone and welcomed strangers without questions. The leader steps forward, confident and cruel, speaking about fire and death, promising pain if the rancher resists. The wind grows stronger, rattling the fence behind them, making the white buffalo hide sway softly, though none of them notice it yet. The rancher's heart pounds, but his voice remains steady as he asks them to leave, offering food instead of fear. The raiders laugh louder, mocking his weakness, calling his kindness stupidity. One man moves toward the house, planning to burn it, while another circles behind the rancher, preparing to strike him from the back. The ground feels colder, the air heavier, as if the land itself senses what is about to happen. Just as the moment of violence is about to explode, one raider slows his steps, something unseen pulling his attention away. His eyes lift toward the fence, narrowing in confusion. The torchlight flickers across pale fur hanging quietly in the night. His breathing changes. His hand begins to shake. He stops completely, fear spreading across his face like a sickness. The others notice his sudden silence and follow his gaze. One by one, their movements freeze. Weapons lower slightly. Jokes die in their throats. The leader turns slowly, his confidence cracking as he recognizes the sacred symbol glowing softly under the moon. Memories of old warnings, whispered stories, and deadly consequences rush through their minds. The rancher stands unaware behind them, still calm, still silent, as the raiders realize this land is not unprotected. The danger they brought now feels like a trap closing around them instead, and for the first time that night, fear does not belong to the man who lives on the ranch. The leader takes a slow step forward, his confident posture breaking as his eyes lock onto the white buffalo hide, hanging clearly on the fence, untouched and openly displayed, something no ordinary man would ever dare to keep. The night air shifts instantly, growing heavy and cold, pressing against every chest present. A deep silence falls, so sharp it feels painful the raiders stop breathing without realizing it, their bodies reacting before their minds can catch up. Hands tighten, then loosen around weapons, as fear crawls into their thoughts. The hide moves slightly with the wind, pale and glowing under the moonlight, looking less like an object and more like a warning. The leader swallows hard, memories flooding back from stories told by elders, stories of sacred signs, curses, and land protected by forces beyond weapons or strength. One raider takes a step back, his boots scraping the dirt too loudly, making him flinch as if he expects punishment for the sound. Another whispers a prayer under his breath, eyes wide, unable to look away. Sweat forms on faces that moments ago showed cruelty and confidence. The rancher remains still, watching their sudden change with confusion, unaware of the power hanging behind them. The leader slowly lowers his weapon, his voice caught somewhere between disbelief and fear, realizing this ranch is not random and this night was not meant for violence. The hide represents a promise made by the land itself, a symbol of protection that no one survives disrespecting. The wind blows stronger, pushing against the raiders like an unseen force urging them away. One man shakes his head repeatedly, whispering that they should leave, that this place is forbidden. Another turns his back completely, unable to face the symbol any longer. The leader looks around at his group, seeing fear reflected in every face, knowing control is slipping from his hands. His authority means nothing against something older and stronger than all of them. The rancher takes a cautious step forward, still calm, still unarmed, his presence strangely grounding, as if the land recognizes him. The raiders feel watched, not by eyes, but by history, by spirits, by consequences they cannot escape. The hide sways again, brushing softly against the fence, and the sound feels louder than any gunshot. Hearts pound painfully as the leader finally understands the truth. Attacking this ranch would not bring wealth, only ruin. He signals his men to lower their weapons fully, shame replacing hunger in their expressions. No one speaks for several long seconds. The rancher stands between fear and faith, not knowing that his simple life and quiet kindness have placed him under a protection that even violent men respect. In that moment, the raiders realize they came hunting weakness but instead found a boundary they are too afraid to cross, and the land itself seems to breathe easier as their violent intentions dissolve into silent surrender. The leader's voice finally breaks the silence, softer now, asking the rancher where he got the hide, and the rancher answers honestly without pride or fear, his words slowly pulling the past into the present like a memory waking from sleep. Years ago, during a violent storm, he found a white buffalo collapsed near the hills, wounded, weak, and left behind by its herd. Rain was cutting the land like knives, thunder shaking the ground, yet he did not walk away. He carried water, built shelter, and stayed through the night, shielding the animal from cold and pain even when fear told him to leave. For days he fed it, cleaned its wounds, and spoke softly, expecting nothing in return. When the buffalo finally stood again, strong enough to walk, he opened the path and let it go free without trying to claim it. Weeks later, members of a nearby tribe came to his ranch, not with anger, but with respect in their eyes. They told him the animal was sacred, a rare symbol of balance and blessing, and that saving it was an act few were chosen to perform. As a sign of honor and gratitude, they gifted him the hide, instructing him to hang it where the land could see it, where truth would stand uncovered. The rancher accepted it humbly, not fully understanding the weight of what he was given, believing it was only a reminder of kindness, not protection. As his story ends, the raiders listen without interrupting, their faces no longer cruel but deeply shaken. Each word confirms what they already feel in their bones, that the rancher did not steal power or seek it, but earned it through mercy. The leader lowers his head slightly, realizing this land was claimed by something greater long before weapons arrived. The hide no longer looks like an object to them, but a living promise tied to an act of selfless courage. The rancher stands quietly, unaware that his simple choice during a storm rewrote his fate. The night wind moves again, softer now, as if the land itself acknowledges the truth spoken aloud. Fear fades into understanding, and understanding into respect. The raiders know the rancher never used the hide as a shield, never demanded safety, yet safety found him anyway. In that moment, they see him not as a weak man standing alone, but as someone protected by honor older than violence. The past settles into the present, heavy and undeniable, and the ranch feels different, calmer, as if it has finally revealed why it was never truly defenseless. A heavy understanding settles over the raiders as the truth fully sinks in, and the anger that once drove them now feels small and foolish against the weight of what they nearly disturbed. One by one, their shoulders drop, tension draining from bodies that moments ago were ready to destroy. The leader exhales slowly, as if releasing a breath he has been holding for years, realizing that attacking this land would not end in victory, but in loss far beyond death. Old fears resurface, not the kind born from stories meant to scare children, but the kind learned through survival, through seeing what happens when sacred lines are crossed. Weapons lower toward the ground, metal no longer pointing with purpose, but hanging uselessly in trembling hands. Faces that once showed hunger for power now carry shame, eyes avoiding the rancher and the hide behind him. The wind moves gently again, no longer sharp or warning, but calm, as if the land itself accepts their surrender. The rancher remains silent through it all, standing exactly where he was, unaware that his life has just been spared by a choice he made long ago without expecting reward. He watches their movements with confusion, not fear, sensing change but not understanding its source. The leader finally steps back, creating space where threat once stood, and the others follow without being told, instinct guiding them away from danger they now respect. No one laughs anymore. No one speaks harshly. A quiet humility replaces violence, and in that silence, each raider feels the weight of intention, realizing how close they came to carrying guilt they could never escape. One man wipes sweat from his brow, another bows his head briefly, not to the rancher, but to the land beneath his feet. The leader meets the rancher's eyes for a moment, seeing not weakness, but a calm strength rooted in honesty, and he understands that kindness can build walls no weapon can break. Slowly, deliberately, he signals retreat, and this time the group obeys without hesitation. Boots turn away from the house, steps careful, almost respectful, as if they fear even sound might offend what protects this place. The rancher watches them leave, still silent, still unaware of how close death came and passed him by. As distance grows between them, the air feels lighter, tension dissolving into the quiet rhythm of the night. The hide sways softly once more, no longer a warning but a reminder. The raiders disappear into darkness carrying nothing but relief and humility, knowing they walked away not because of mercy given, but because mercy had already been earned. The ranch stands untouched behind them, protected not by walls or force, but by a single act of compassion that turned fear into respect and violence into restraint. The leader pauses at the edge of the ranch land, something heavy pulling at his conscience, and without a word he reaches into his pack and places supplies gently onto the ground near the fence, food, water, and valuables meant for survival rather than theft. One by one, the others follow his example, laying down what they carry as offerings instead of taking what does not belong to them. The act feels strange yet necessary, as if balance must be restored before they leave. The rancher watches silently, still unsure why these dangerous men now move with care instead of cruelty. No threats are spoken, no demands made, only quiet actions filled with meaning. The leader turns back, meeting the rancher's eyes again, and promises they will never return to this land with harm in their hearts. His voice holds sincerity, shaped by fear, transformed into respect. Another raider steps forward slowly and bows his head toward the rancher, a gesture of humility rarely shown, then steps back without waiting for approval. The night seems to listen closely as they retreat, their footsteps fading into the darkness, leaving the ranch untouched and peaceful. When the last shadow disappears, silence returns, deeper than before, wrapping the land like a breath held and released. The rancher remains standing for a long moment, trying to understand what has just happened, feeling a quiet shift in the air, as though the night itself has changed. He looks at the offerings left behind, not as payment, but as proof that something unseen protected him. The white buffalo hide moves softly in the breeze, catching moonlight with calm presence rather than warning. The ranch feels warmer, safer, no longer isolated but connected to something larger than fences and fields. Though nothing appears different at first glance, everything has changed beneath the surface. The rancher turns back toward his home, carrying confusion mixed with a strange sense of peace. He does not know that his kindness has become a shield, that his simple life now holds silent power. As he closes the door behind him, the land settles into stillness once more, not empty, not lonely, but guarded by honor earned through compassion. The night continues, stars watching quietly, as the ranch stands firm, no longer defenseless, shaped forever by a choice made without expectation and a decision that transformed violence into reverence. As the first light of sunrise spreads across the land, the rancher stands quietly by the fence, watching the white buffalo hide move gently with the morning wind. The fear of the night feels distant now, replaced by a calm he cannot fully explain. He feels the land breathing again, peaceful and whole, as if it recognizes him. In that soft moment, a simple truth settles deep inside his heart, stronger than any weapon he has ever seen. He understands that real power never comes from force, anger, or violence, but from mercy freely given when it matters most. His kindness, once seen as weakness, has become an unbreakable shield. The ranch is no longer just soil and wood, but sacred ground shaped by compassion. As the sun rises higher, the rancher turns back toward his home, knowing his life will remain humble, yet protected. Some acts changed destiny forever, and this land will remember his mercy long after footsteps fade.